As you know, our residents are more than likely to live 10 years less than our residents on the north side. And so we have to continue efforts to continue to support our parks initiation and activation and create safe space by decreasing crime on the south side.
My name is Bruce Roberson. I am a retired high school teacher. While I don't have a title, I often tell people I'm a community leader and a youth developer. But I work with a lot of nonprofits, especially their executive directors, and really help them with getting things sorted out and getting connected to the right people. So I'm all over, doing a lot of things.
My name's Irene Calimlim, pronounce you hers. I work as the community development director right now at Manila Rising, but I think even before that I'd been doing different nonprofit and organizing work in reinvestment in South Stockton and environmental justice. Yeah, so I guess I represent, growing up in Stockton, a boomerang, being able to go to college and coming back, also broadly the Filipino and Japanese community, because that's what I am ethnically.
I'm Earl Taylor, a physician, a medical doctor who also specialized in general surgery. Well, I represent all mankind per se. Just growing up, I realized that my mom had given me all these instructions about what to do and what not to do. But she was also a very good person and had no seemingly obvious prejudices about anybody. And so I think all of that rubbed off on me, so I just felt like that I'm kind of the person for the people, yes.
My name is Patricia Barrett. People know me as Patricia Barrett. I like to go by Pat Barrett. It's a much more friendlier name. I represent advocacy for South Stockton, a very underserved district that the city ignores and does not acknowledge unless they say, oh, we know South Stockton needs services, okay? That's the recognition that we get. I've been doing this in Stockton for 4 years now.
My name is Angel Hernandez, also known as Handball Hernandez. I organize handball tournaments, have been doing so for about 29 years, and I represent the handball community of Stockton and beyond, Northern California as well.
My name is Jaimie Guerrero, and I'm one of the founders of Cali's Angels Foundation. We opened our doors October 2015. So in 2013, I lost my sister to domestic violence used with a gun. So that kind of threw me back, and I was at Delta then, getting ready to transfer to Sac State. And during that time, we looked into bereavement for children and kind of seen the lack of services. And yeah, I understood that because I'm going through it. So I graduated and I wanted to take the time off and open up the nonprofit for children that's impacted by homicide. Through the research, I didn't see any organization in Stockton that specifically dealt with that. When it first happened, I wanted to leave Stockton, but when I graduated, I wanted to give back. I was like, let me try to give back. And that's kind of where the idea came from.
When I was going to school was around the time that Stockton was foreclosure capital and named the most miserable city. And at that time I was coming back, I really wanted to work in Stockton, and I called a few places because I was doing public health back then, and there was no job opportunities then. And so I ended up working abroad in community development for a few years. And I'd seen a lot of work that was happening to really organize the South Stockton community, work that back then Hector Laura was doing, and Roslyn and Michael, and Jasmine Delafosse. So I reached out to Michael, and he was able to connect me up then with some of the neighborhood trust building work. So Came back, and at first I was just volunteering, going out walking the neighborhood with like Rosalind and stuff, helping out Jasmine with some of the neighborhood like park cleanups. And then from there I was able to get looped into just other nonprofit organizing work.
I grew up in Tracy in a neighborhood called the South Side. I moved here to Stockton when I was about 21 years old to go to Delta College. I met my wife out here, and I made Stockton my home. I've been out here longer than I lived in Tracy. Yeah, I'm 50 years old now, so I've been out here about 25, 27 years, something like that.
My mom continued to encourage me to do the best that I could, and also not to wind up what she was doing. So after 4 years of medical school, we decided we would go to San Diego, and so we placed. We had to apply and get placed. I was there for the year, my rotating internship, and then I decided, what am I going to do afterwards? What kind of doctor am I going to be? So surgery, to me, fit me much better than all the other academic things.
I talked to a few friends, and they always tease me, why don't you run for council? And I said, oh, I'm so anti-government, right? And I literally ran for council. I ran against Kim Wormsley. And I couldn't believe that. Why don't we have the services to give people that the other counties do? Sacramento is full of services. So advocacy to me is really important. It's to get the people's voices out there and their needs.
Even just understanding what sort of state agencies, city agencies are really out there with resources that are there to support. Like there's just a lot right now in the policy landscape, statewide and federally, that are really focused on reparations and trying to get targeted funding into communities that have been disinvested or that have been redlined. So we have to rely on some of our partners at the state level to be able to tell us that there is all these opportunities out there and get connected to it.
What I've done over the past 3 years or so is been able to meet with different nonprofits that offer services around mental health and wellness, around providing food support, around housing support. So I really find out from them what the need is. And then I basically connect them. I know somebody that you need to talk to, like 211. Connect with 211. Connect with Family Resource Center, you know what I mean? Connect with RSSC, they have a youth council, okay? Connect with Amelia Ann Adams, okay? They have a mental wellness center as well. So there are a number of different organizations that are working with youth right now.
Tutoring, so if kids struggle with schoolwork, it's like the least thing on their mind after a trauma is like school. So I think it's something that we have to take into consideration. Kids having bad grades and not showing up, these are some problems that you might not account for. The teachers and stuff might not account for. I just think that it's important because Stockton has a high homicide rate. So there's a lot of kids out there that's not being treated or not being supported. And I just feel if we are able to get to them when they're younger, help mold them and shape them, and let them know that we care, then they have a better chance.
I've gotten to see them grow up, since probably when I first started. Some of the kids that I was working with were probably about 10, 11 years old, and I've seen them become men and fathers, seen them get married, have children, and live a good life. And so I'm happy about that, because handball is an alternative to the other things that you can get yourself involved in. One of the worries is always people getting involved in gangs and stuff like that, or drugs. And so we want to be able to give people an alternative, and I've been able to see that happening, as well as them building relationships with one another, being that they stand from different areas of Stockton, getting to know each other, becoming comfortable with visiting one another's neighborhoods, and interacting beyond the handball courts as well.
I associate Stockton and all the people in the community that I value is being people who are very self-sufficient. When you see a challenge, you just have to figure it out yourself. So just the example I said on like, there's no community development corporations, so it's like, I guess we'll just do it ourselves. We'll figure it out and go. We know how to research. We know how to just, I guess, grind and figure it out with very little resources. And I feel like that's a common story with a lot of organizers in Stockton, but also because sometimes there's nothing there. There's a lot more room for creativity, or there's a lot more opportunity to do stuff. Because maybe like, if you're in the Bay Area, you're fighting with maybe so many other initiatives and organizations, but here, like, you have a lot more freedom or a lot more power to carry things as far as you want by yourself without maybe having things like blocking your path.
I found out that over the years, from college to med school and surgery, you need contacts. I don't care whether they're black, blue, green, or whatnot. You need to make friends. As I say, I would never have been on many of these boards or whatnot, but somebody recommended me. Why? I don't know. So I just didn't walk up and say, hey, I want to be on Stockton Symphony board, but somebody had recommended me. Same as with, the school board, that type thing. And that's my idea about how you move in society. You can't do it by yourself.